In this series, I'm going to go over my favorite parts of the Harry Potter films, covering 2 films per video. I'm also going to go over the Wizarding World at the end of each of these videos. I'm going to answer one of the questionnaires to see where I fit into the Hogwarts and Harry Potter universe. And then at the end of this whole series, I'm going to let you know which is my favorite film after I break them all down again, and let you know which one is my absolute favorite. Bye, so you ready to get into it? Let's go. Alright everybody, so I wish I had enough time to go through and spend another 16 hours to rewatch all the films again and take detailed notes and all that kind of stuff, but alas, I don't. So, basically, what you're going to get is my thoughts, and I'm just going to briefly cover my favorite parts of the films and just give you my thoughts after only seeing each film once, right? Alright, so in this video we're going to be checking out the first 2 Harry Potter films. Now at the end of this, we're going to be going through and doing the What House Do I Belong To quiz. Alright, so you guys stop what you're doing right now, comment down below, pause this video if you have to, but comment down below and put in what house you predict that I'm going to be a part of after seeing all my reaction videos and that kind of thing. Alright, so, and then at the end you'll find out if you're right or not, and we'll see how many people are right or wrong or whatever, right? That'd be a good laugh, let's do it. Now, full disclaimer, if you haven't seen the Harry Potter series, this video here is going to be full of spoilers, so you might as well click off, go watch all 8 Harry Potter films, and then come back and watch this later. Alright everybody, so just so you're aware, this is not a technical review or a long essay or some kind of big analytical breakdown of the movies and theories, nothing like that. It's just me being my weird-ass self, and there's going to be lots of memes, alright? So let's just go. Alright, so the very first film is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or also the Philosopher's Stone. I'm not sure why it has 2 different titles. Either way, well, you guys can maybe explain down below why there's a Sorcerer's Stone and a Philosopher's Stone. The first film has these 2 wizards dropping a baby off, which you assume is Potter, to a strange house. It left a lot of questions going through my head. And then to see the way that the Dursley family treated Potter, I was like, oh my god, this is nuts. The main thought going through my head was like, come on, couldn't those wizards have found a better home to put this child in than this particular one? Oh my god, do a background check or something, right? We find out later that they are the only living close relatives of Harry Potter, so that makes sense. I enjoy the relationship between Dudley Dursley and Harry Potter. Dudley is a spoiled, rotten kid that cries and whines until he gets what he wants, while Harry gets nothing and gets treated like a worthless piece of crap. It annoyed me so friggin' much. But that's the whole point of those scenes, and that family in particular, right, was just there to trigger you into hating that family even more, so...
Mission accomplished!
The scene where they visit the zoo and Harry speaks with the snake was pretty cool. I was thinking to myself that Potter has this innate ability to speak with animals, but we later learn that's not the case at all. But at the time, it does a great job of hinting at things that are yet to come, and then letting you know that there's something freaky going on up inside Harry's head, right? The scene where the Dursleys are hiding in the tower was awesome. How they built the suspense of it being this dark and stormy night, and something starts banging on the door, and it makes you think that something evil's about to burst in the room and start friggin' attacking all of them. Instead, you get this jolly-looking giant of a man come in, he starts asking for Harry Potter, and it is just to wish him a happy birthday and give him a piece of cake. So that is the total opposite of what you expect to happen, and I friggin' loved it.
Well played.
I remember Harry looking at that cake like it was the first birthday cake he's ever got in his life. Friggin' Dursleys. We then get one of the first displays of magic when Hagrid uses his umbrella to light the fireplace, and Harry's eyes light up in wonder. They light up even more when Hagrid tells Harry that he's a wizard and goes on to try to convince him of it. "You're a wizard, Harry, and a thumping good one, I'd wager." What makes this so great is that Harry has no clue who he is, what he's capable of, or what the future has in store for him, but either way, you know it's going to be something friggin' epic. The shock on Potter's face as he travels with Hagrid and meets these strange people who all know who he is, like Professor Quirrell, was pretty interesting because at this point I'm thinking, this boy has been trapped in a crawl space for his entire life, but yet somehow everyone in this part of the world knows who he is. But it adds this great sense of wonder where you get to relate to Harry Potter and you get to try to put all the pieces together to figure out why that boy is so special. Well, boys, when he first steps into Diagon Alley and he sees the bustling streets of people with pointy hats and all these slanted buildings, you know that things are about to get real interesting. Harry gets his first wand, this epic music kicks in, his hair starts blowing in the way and everything lights up with a golden glow, and I'm thinking that either this wand or this boy is packing some serious magic power, and I was stoked to see how he was going to use it. When they get on the train and Potter starts making friends for the first time in his life, that was pretty sweet. Ron and Hermione show up and they're just kids acting like kids should instead of just being annoying bullies. Once again, I'm looking at you, Dudley. It's great how Hermione shows right away how smart she is by repairing Potter's glasses and setting a tone that we got ourselves a brainiac on our hands.
I am smart, and I'm self-smarted, basically, by myself. Self-learned myself.
They get to this epic-looking Hogwarts school that looks like a castle, and I friggin' love castles. And then you get to see all the other students experience this for the first time as well. Another key point here where you get to experience it along with Harry and the other students, so it feels like you're there with them and you got all of this wondrous school to look at and take in and figure out for the first time. I love that part of it. Draco Malfoy makes his first appearance and sets the tone for being a pain in Harry's ass, trying to say that Ron is worthless and that Harry should make better friends and she should hang out with Draco. But Harry shuts him down right away. Attaboy, Potter, attaboy.
He's my special boy!
The story moves on with all the kids putting on a hat to determine which house they're going to belong to, which is a super interesting concept in itself. Then the hat struggles with Potter more than anyone else because it's conflicted as to what house he's going to send a boy. But Potter wills his way into the house of Gryffindor so he can be with his friends. But you can't blame the boy for clinging to the only set of friends he's ever had, right? But this scene with the conflict with the hat, once again, just added to the mystery of Potter and what's going on with him. Why was the hat so uncertain with him? You know what I mean? It's just letting you know that there's a lot more to this main character than you realizes. We then get to see creepy Professor Snape, or as I call him, Snake, and then Snade. I got it right eventually though, boys. Alright, give me a break, boy. Give me a break. You can tell right away this teacher has an attitude problem towards Potter, and he's just an all-around no-nonsense teacher. It reminds me of the feud that I had back in high school. The troll scene in the bathroom was another awesome one because you got to see the trio of heroes come together for the first time and work as a team to defeat a big baddie monster. Potter sees Snape's leg cut and goes on to explain to his friends his theory of how Snape is the main nemesis behind this story and he's trying to sneak past this big-ass guard dog. And that whole scene did a good job of tricking me to go along with Potter's narrative.
God, yeah!
My first look at a Quidditch match was a blast, trying to figure out the rules of the game as these wizards are flying around on brooms at crazy heights, going at high speeds, crashing into each other and trying to score points, all while the seeker chases down a golden snitch. But it was at this moment I realized the school does not care about the safety of its students. Potter gets an invisibility cloak, starts sneaking around the school. He then goes out in the woods with Hagrid, and you hear howling in the background. Then he mentions werewolves, which had me on the edge of my seat because I friggin' love werewolves. Oh man, I'll never forget the first time I see this creepy cloaked figure feasting on a unicorn and it starts floating towards Potter in this weird, bobbing and disturbing way. I loved it, but it still creeps me out just thinking about it. Being a lifelong lover of fantasy, seeing the centaur and a three-headed dog and flying keys and stuff just made me fall more and more in love with the film. Then we get this life-size chess scene, which is friggin' awesome. It brought me back to the many hours I spent in Karazhan and World of Warcraft grinding out that dungeon. Either way, I just love that scene overall. It's just super creative and cool. This is the first time we get to see how brave and clever Ron is in the film. But unfortunately, as the films go on and the way he starts acting and responding to different situations, it kind of makes you forget about this moment. But we'll talk more about that later. Professor Quirrell was behind it this whole time and not Snape. Plot twist! I didn't see that coming at all, but they did an awesome job of playing up Snape to make him seem like he's the villain, right boys? Because he's creeping around the castle and every time he talks, he got the most creepiest voice ever.
Now what would 3 young Gryffindors such as yourselves be doing inside on a day like this?
But I love the scene where we got Professor Quirrell being controlled by Voldemort, and you got this dialogue going back and forth and you have no idea where the other creepy voice is coming from, right? So old Voldy tries to get the Sorcerer's Stone, but Potter wasn't having any of that, so out of nowhere he disintegrates his ass. Potter is a friggin' badass wizard and he didn't even know it. The movie ends happy as everybody departs and starts heading back home again, but it makes you think that you haven't seen the last of that Voldemort son of a So the first film comes across a little bit as a kid's movie and that kind of thing, but it did have some kind of dark parts to it. But either way, I don't mind watching a movie that's intended for kids. I just still get enjoyment out of it as long as it got enough to hold my attention, with a good story, good plot, good set of characters, and that's it. I'm all in. And it also left me wanting to see more of Harry Potter and what's going on with his parents and why is he so special and what's going on with Voldemort. There was a whole lot left to explain. It was just scraping the surface, but it's just scraping the surface on what was in store for us for the remaining 7 films, right? So we're moving on to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This movie opens up with Potter looking a little older, and he steps into a room to see this freaky little bouncy creature on the bed. Turns out to be Dobby the house elf, whose name I mispronounced for most of the series. My first impression of Dobby is that he's a little nuisance and he's just a pain in Harry's ass. He's doing self-harm on himself, and all he's doing is trying to get Harry in trouble. Then you guys in the comments down below starts freaking out because I starts hating on Dobby. We gotta understand, at this point, I'm only basing it on what I've seen. I don't know his backstory, his history, where he comes from, all the abuse he went through, or anything like that, you know? Weasley picks him up in their sweet ride, a flying car. Harry escapes the Dursleys and is off on another adventure once again. This is a good thing, though, because the Dursleys rub me the wrong way, and the more that they're not in the film, the happier I am. Once again, they start showing us the fame and hype around the name of Harry Potter when Gilderoy Lockhart pulls him up in front of everybody. Right away, I could tell Lockhart was a fraud and a fake. He just had this pompous personality where he thinks his shit don't stink. Then another run-in with Draco to show that he'll still be around to be his annoyance for Potter throughout the whole film, just like that annoying bully that's there on every turn that he makes. I love the scene of Ron driving his car into the school grounds, losing control of it and crashing into a tree that turns out to be an angry tree ant. Again, the more fantasy creatures that they threw into this series and they gave screen time to, the more I friggin' fell in love with this movie. Ron's car then starts to show a mind of its own, like it's friggin' Herbie the Love Bug or something. I still don't know what's up with that car, why it has its own personality. Can somebody comment down below and let me know what's up with his car? Snape gets back at it again, hating on Potter and his friends with his eerie voice and mannerisms, but then good old Dumbledore's there to save our heroes from trouble. I found the Mandrake scene super fascinating. I mean, I've heard of that root in other mythologies and lores and video games and stuff like that, but in this series, what do you got? Just weird-ass looking little creature that screams and paralyzes his prey? I mean, come on, that's a pretty unique and interesting take on that. Ron, bless his heart, Pie tries to defend Hermione's honor against Draco, but his crooked wand backfires, makes him eat slugs. That scene of him throwing up the slugs was priceless. But that's a small price to pay for love, right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Potter starts hearing some evil sounds coming from within the walls of the school, like, kill, kill, kill. And at this point I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's got to be some secret chambers going through the school with evil cultists plotting about, you guessed it, some evil things. They're plotting about some evil things. Especially a few seconds later when you see that there's writing on the wall and it's all done in blood. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, boss. But I loves it. Professor McGonagall breaks it down for the kids, going into detail about the legend of the Chamber of Secrets and how once the monster within is released, it'll kill all the students who are not purebloods. Now that part in particular stoked me up because just the concept of having this weird creature or this weird monster lurking around within the walls of the school, like hunting some students and that kind of stuff, was just a recipe for sweet sauce, boys. Dobby shows up again, starts talking to Potter, saying that he was the reason behind the barrier that was preventing him from getting to school in the first place, and that he also made the bludger chase him throughout the game of Quidditch. So once again, I'm just viewing Dobby as this huge pain in Harry's ass, and he just keeps interfering with everything that Potter's trying to do. Friggin' Dobby. Moaning Myrtle had her first appearance in the film and just had me cracking up with her mannerisms and her whiny voice. It was instantly one of my favorite characters.
I wouldn't expect you to know me. Who would ever talk about ugly, miserable, moping, moaning Myrtle?
Finally get to see Draco getting a taste of Potter's power when instead of disarming him, Potter sends him flying across the table and landing on his arse. We find out that Dumbledore has a phoenix as his familiar. Oh my god. Alright, so I love the whole concept of lore of phoenixes and mythology, so to see one in the film was enough for me to think that he has the greatest familiar out of everyone in that school. The movie continues on with some funny scenes of shape-shifting potions and Hermione turning herself into a cat, which is exactly the kind of shenanigans you'd expect a school full of curious teenagers studying magic to get into. Tom Riddle's diary scene was amazing, as the book seems to talk back to Potter and answer questions before pulling him back to relive some of Tom's memories. It's these kind of scenes that continue to push the magic and wonder that the whole series just captivates you with. My heart sunk in my chest when Harry and Ron walked in to see Hermione petrified and paralyzed on the table. At this point in the series, Hermione's my favorite character, and to see her in that state and that condition, oh my god, had me triggered.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
They start blaming Hagrid for the attacks on Muggleborns and plans to throw him in prison, and Dumbledore gets served a letter of suspension. And it's in about this moment when I realized that whoever's behind this whole evil plot and scheme are trying to knock down all the friends and allies that Potter has made, right? Trying to make him weak, trying to separate him from all of his friends, boys. Not cool. Ron and Potter have to make their way back into the Dark Forest again, which, by the way, boys, I'm just telling you, wouldn't be me, boy, wouldn't be me. After seeing that weird, creepy Voldemort-eating unicorn floating, bobbing weird creature thing, nope, wouldn't be me.
Nope.
To make matters worse, they have to go in this damp, dark cave filled with spiders. Now, personally, I don't find spiders that creepy, but I know most people do, but I can still feel the eeriness of it all. But then this big-ass spider crawls up and says it's Hagrid's friend, so I'm thinking, well, this is fine. Nope. The big-ass spider turns on him and then starts to friggin' eat him. Luckily, Herbie the Lovebug shows up just in the nick of time and was able to drive him out to safety, but the whole scene kept me on the edge of my seat and loving the whole wild ride of it all. We find out that Professor Lockhart is a fraud and a coward. Called it! Potter and Ron force Lockhart to join the party as they look for the Chamber of Secrets hidden entrance and all that kind of stuff, only to have Lockhart, that friggin' son of a turn on him and try to wipe their memories. Thinking of the wrong slug incident and knowing that the wand was defective and it reflects the spell back on the caster was something that popped in my head moments before he cast his spell. I knew something awesome was going to happen. Sure enough, the fraud got his, and when his memories got wiped... It's these type of scenes in movies that I absolutely love. When people who got something coming to them the whole film, you're like, oh, they're going to get theirs. Then they finally get theirs, and that's what I love, boys. Right down to my core. I love everything about it. Potter goes in to save Ginny Weasley, only to discover a memory of Tom Riddle from the diary is there and is the mastermind behind it all. Nope, didn't see that coming. Then he mixes up the letters in his name to spell out I am Lord Voldemort, which was mind friggin' blowing. Now, what a way to end the movie. Harry Potter versus Basilisk.
This is the main event of the evening.
I loved everything about this, but I was thinking to myself the whole time, I'm like, how is this untrained wizard boy with no wand going to fight this giant-ass creature? But I was a fool to doubt Potter.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Thanks to some Phoenix eye gouging and a sword of Gryffindor, Potter was able to stand up to the snake of death and stab it right in the face. Not without a price, though. Potter gets bit by a basilisk, and now he has venom pumping through his veins. Now, if it wasn't for the fact that I knew there was 8 films in this series, then I would have been worried about him dying. That said, though, I was still on the edge of my seat to see if Ginny was going to die or if Riddle's plans were going to play out. Honestly, I had no clue on how Potter was going to survive this, much less stop Riddle's plans, but that clever boy did it again. He stabs Riddle's journal with a basilisk fang as blood starts shooting and spraying out from the pages. Having the book bleed with each stab was such a good touch and such a good shock factor. Everything about it, boys, I loved it. So Riddle blows to pieces, Ginny wakes up, and you're thinking, all right, everything's good. But then no, reality sets in, you're like, oh my god, Potter is friggin' slowly dying. Not for long, though, because everyone's favorite familiar comes back, sheds a few tears, and BAM! The Potter story continues. That scene just reminded me of like old school video games that I used to play where you could find like a phoenix tear and it was like one of the most powerful and rare items and artifacts and things you could get, and it had like super healing and resurrection properties. Loved everything about that scene.
Nerd alert!
Before the movie ends, we see Lucius Malfoy and Dobby show up. Potter pulls a fast one, though. He puts a sock in the journal and sets up that Slytherin piece of crap to give an article of clothing back to Dobby and set him free. Clever boy, Potter. Clever boy. It was at this time I started to feel bad for Dobby. I didn't know who his master was or what he was being forced to do and all that kind of stuff, so it was pretty heartwarming and touching when I heard him say,
Dobby is free.
But then Lucius gets so pissed that he comes up to kill Potter, but luckily Dobby steps in and saves him. It was a great scene because you could see that Lucius had so much hate for Potter that right there in the center of the school for everyone to know about it, he was just going to go up and friggin' kill him right on the spot. Right? Spend the rest of his life as a prisoner of Azkaban, all for because of spite and rage. Another beautiful ending as all the students are cured from petrification, including my favorite character, Hermione. Hagrid gets released from jail. Dumbledore is back in charge of the school, and the school cheers in celebration. Another beautiful ending to a complex story, but you know what? It still left us thinking and wondering what's going on with all the different plot hooks they left for us, right? Couldn't wait to get to the next one at that point. Alright, everybody, the time has finally come. A lot of you guys have been asking us for this in the comments, and we're finally going to get around to doing it. We're going to find out what house I belong to in the world of Hogwarts and or Harry Potter. Everybody's ready to go? Let's go. Discover your house. Alright. Discover your Hogwarts house. Okay. Start the sorting ceremony. Choose one. Dusk or dawn? I'm thinking dusk. I prefer nighttime, usually. Alright, let's go. After you have died, what would you most like people to do when they hear your name? I think the biggest thing is just I want people to just remember any kind of joy that I brought to their life. So I think this might be the one. Miss me and smile. Which is kind of like, yeah, I'm going to go with that one. 4 goblets are placed before you. Which do you choose to drink? Wow. Wow. It's kind of vague. These are kind of vague questions, boys. How are you supposed to answer these? Seeing strange visions. I don't do drugs, so I ain't doing that one. My god, I think it might be that one. We're gonna go with that one. Which nightmare would frighten you the most? Standing on top of something very high and realize suddenly that there are no hands or footholds nor any barriers that fall. Oh, I'm not afraid of heights. Being forced to speak in such a silly voice that hardly anyone can understand you and everyone laughs at you. No, I don't mind that one at all. Waking up to find that neither you or your friends or family have any idea who you are. That one's pretty bad. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Waking up to find that nobody knows who you are. That one's pretty bad. Okay, so a troll has gone berserk in the headmaster's study of Hogwarts. Ooh, okay. It's about to smash, crush, and tear several irreplaceable items and treasures. In which order would you rescue these objects from the Trolls Club? The cure, I'd rather cure people. If it's a cure, it's very important. Having history is important, but I'm going to go with 3, and then 2 would be the mystery handwritten book, because it's a mystery. It could be, you might have no other record of it, and it'd be awful. What are you most looking forward to learning at Hogwarts? Area Magic I Can is pretty tempting. But I do like magical creatures and how to befriend and care for them. I'm torn between those two. I'm torn. I think I'd want to learn everything I possibly could. Right? Yes. If you were attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? Cats, toads, or owls? I do love cats. I do own 3 cats, boys. I got 3 cats. Toads are cool. Owl's just so majestic, though, isn't it? Yeah, I think I'd take a cat. Gotta have a cat. All right, if you're attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? A ginger cat, a white cat, Siamese cat, tabby cat, black cat, white cat for sure. There we go. Choose one to follow. Right. Right is always right. 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 Oh, it's ready to make this decision already, guys. Okay, here we go. Hufflepuff. That's it, boys. Look at this. Hufflepuff. Dedication, patience, and loyalty. You probably know that some of Hufflepuff's most renowned members include Tonks, Cedric, but did you know that Hufflepuff's house ghost, the Fat Friar, still resents the fact that he never made a cardinal, or that Hufflepuff has produced the fewest dark wizards of any house? Oh my god, boys, I'm a Hufflepuff. What do you think of it? Is that what you guys predicted? I don't know. But okay, yeah, I guess I'm stoked. I don't know much about Hufflepuff, because it's just Cedric and Tonks, and they don't get a whole lot of time in the movie. I was hoping for Ravenclaw, boys. Just saying, I was hoping for Ravenclaw. I just felt like that would have been the way to go, right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. If you guys want me to continue with this series of going back through the Harry Potter films, letting you know some more of my thoughts and different things that I was thinking, and some of my favorite moments, and also going through and doing some of the Wizarding World quizzes, let me know, boys. Let me know down below that you want that. If you got any enjoyment in this video, be sure to hit the like button, boys. And, boys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching Newfie Movie Reactions. Peace and love, everybody. Peace. I'll see you in the next one, all right? Take care. Bye-bye.